Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. Here we go, yo. Oh my God, we're back again. Kevin Riley, everybody swim. I don't know the words to that song. Welcome back, guys. It's episode 37. Yes, Tempe's back. All right. Look, Kevin's here. Is he original? Yeah. Is he the only one? Yeah, except for the other Kevin. Is he sexual? No, because we took him to the doctor and we got his balls removed. Gonna have to bleep that. Anyway, what's up, guys? Took a little break from Temperamental. And all you, oh, look, Girl Kevin's here. Girl Kevin, come back. Hey, look, we're reuniting. We're back. Tempe's back all right. Yeah, come here. Don't drink my water. Don't rub your face on my straw. It's very gross. I don't need cat spit on my water. I'm talking so loud, you guys. I'm talking so loud. Is everything even up and rolling? Do we have this rolling? We have this rolling? We have this? Okay, so I haven't done this in a couple weeks. And you know what? You web sleuths, you guys could probably figure out why. All you Sherlocks out there with your hat with two flaps, you could probably figure out, you could probably deduce why I haven't done a podcast in the last couple weeks. My life's been kind of strange. And I've had a lot of feelings, right? Like there's feelings and they're bubbling up. And then sometimes I feel like I want to say something, and then most of the time I'm like, I don't want to say anything, right? So you probably came here looking for some kind of statement, and I don't really have one. Kevin, don't do that, please. I don't really have one. When you shake and your tail's right there, then it shakes my microphone. Just don't do that. Kevin, chill. I'm trying to talk about how I'm not going to make a statement. I don't really have anything to say, right? Like I have things to say, but also I don't have things to say. And so I'm just not going to say anything. Eventually, I don't even know. This is hard, right? This is hard. Maybe eventually I'll say something. I don't know. Right now I'm not going to, but all I will tell you guys is that I stand by everything I've ever said about my time on the show, right? I've made little videos. I've made like the Claudia special, the Sugar and Coffee special. Like I've talked very fondly about it, and I had an amazing time on the show. That's my experience. Everything I've said about being on the show, I stand by it. So that's all I'm going to go into, and that's even more into going into it than I even wanted to. So let's just let's move on. We're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to the funniest video. Oh my gosh, the funniest video. I got sent the funniest video ever, and I can't play it on here because it's not logged onto Instagram, and then I'd have to confirm my Instagram with the phone, but the phone's recording. It's got the Kevin angle, so if Kevin wasn't on the show, this wouldn't be a problem, but Kevin's on the show, and now he needs his own angle. So if I had my phone, then I could log in Instagram, and I could show you the funniest video of all time, which is... Okay, hold on, I gotta open it up. Cool, good thing I'm so prepared, y'all. So prepared. I'm gonna show this video if I can. Maybe I'll get flagged and demonetized, but you know what? I don't make money doing my podcast anyway. Can someone tell me how to do that? Can someone please tell me how to make money doing my podcast? Because I don't make any money. I just do this for fun. Oh my gosh. Okay. It was right there. Okay. Hold on. It's Billy Corgan skydives from space. Okay. Here we go. Guys, I love that. He's about to jump, and then... So bad. Anyway, what's up, guys? My eyes are very dark, and that's because I'm Danzig now. I'm one mesh shirt away from being Danzig, from being Glenn Danzig of the Misfits. He was the lead singer of the Misfits before he wasn't anymore. But that golden era, that static age, some might say, that's a Misfits pun. He was the guy, right? He was the guy. And this Sunday, I get to sing as Danzig. I get to sing in a Misfits cover band called the PTA, Punk Tribute Authority. My friend Gene, It's his band with the Punk Rock Museum, and they need me to step in and be Danzig on Sunday. And I'm gonna be Danzig, yo. I'm gonna be the most. I'm gonna put on. I'm one mesh shirt and one power stance away from being Glenn Danzig. So I gotta go dark eyes, right? I gotta dress the part. I'm so excited. I'm learning all the lyrics, and let me tell you, there's a lot of really interesting Misfits lyrics that I was unaware of. Bullet is definitely a song that you should look up and read the lyrics to. Whoo! Whoo! Dang, that's a bucket of cold water poured on you. But anyway, none of this matters. What really matters is that I believe it was my last episode I talked about Circus. Do you all remember this? Let me recap. I'm gonna recap. Let me recap. I'm going to recap. So, in the last episode, I talked about how I get random modeling jobs in Vegas, right? And one of these random modeling jobs was with Circus. And I talked about how I'm not really a model, right? I'm an actor. I'm not like traditionally model pretty. I'm not symmetrical in any way. Like I'm just not, it's just not my thing, right? But I got hired for the circus campaign. And because they saw something in me, right? In the cast, and they're like, she's got something that we think could sell roller coasters. So let's hire her. She's hired. Boom, hired, okay? First setup was me on a carousel. I'm holding the carousel pipe, whatever. I'm laughing with my fake boyfriend, ha 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 ha, and it's great. And then I go on to say how the next setup was me walking through the theme park with my fellow models, and we're supposed to be having a great time at this theme park, and they kept pulling me aside saying, yo, your mouth is too big. It's too big. You gotta smile without opening your mouth. They basically said, look as happy as you can without smiling. I think it's, to sum up, that's what they said. My necklace is totally backwards. So that was a frustrating time in my life because I didn't know how to do that. I didn't know how to look super happy. And also my argument was you knew the size of my mouth when you hired me, right? Okay? So you knew my mouth was yay big. So if it's yay big in your photos, that's on you, right? So fast forward, a couple weeks ago, I see myself on a billboard, like super quick. I see it super good, not enough to really see it. I like out of the corner of my eye. Sean was like, "That's you on a billboard." I'm like, "What? And then I was like, "Yo, they're using my picture on the Circus billboard." Well, guess what? I saw it. I saw the billboard. I saw it because I was driving back from Anaheim, California, having gone to Disneyland, as I do once a month, and I was driving back to Vegas, and what you know, there it is. My picture, big as life, giant billboard. It's me holding the pole. They always, sorry, the cat scared me. They always said I would hit the pole eventually in Vegas. Here I am. Hitting the pole. I'm gripping the pole. I'm on the fake horse. I'm with my fake boyfriend, and I'm yucking it up. I'm laughing. I'm excited. Ha! Look at me. Ha! I'm on this carousel. Ha! Ha! And let me tell you, now that I've seen the photo, the director was exactly right. My mouth is too big. I actually don't need your commentary. I don't need this from you. Yeah, my mouth's too big. My mouth's way too big. See, this was the problem. When I was doing the photo shoot, they didn't show me the photos back. They just kept telling me my mouth was too big and to look happy, but don't smile. Very confusing direction from the director, even though, like I said, they were all very sweet on the set. But I didn't really quite understand their perspective, where they were coming from. I'm like, this is the size of my mouth. You knew the size of my mouth when you hired me. I'm going to look happy. I'm going to be ha 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 ha. But you know what? I ha ha ha'd in the carousel photo. My mouth was too big. It's way too big. It's exactly as distracting as they said it was. That's what they said. They were like, your mouth is so big, it's distracting. And I'm like, you're wrong. But now that I've seen the billboard, you're right. It is. It looks like I'm going to devour the carousel. It looks like if you come to the circus, I'm going to eat you whole. So it's not a big shocker why I haven't been hired for a lot of modeling gigs since that one. I think word got around town. Hey, don't hire the big mouth girl. They just wrote it with a Sharpie across my headshot. They're like, mouth too big, and then faxed it to every casting director in town, which is like 3. There's like 3 of them in town. So word gets around real quick when you got a big mouth. Which is ironic and funny. Isn't it ironic? But hey, let me tell you guys, I've missed you. I've missed you. I have not missed you, Seagull Cat. I see you every day, multiple times a day. But I've missed you guys, right? I've really, really missed you. You know, I started this podcast as more of as sort of like an exercise in just letting go. Let go, because I'm a perfectionist and everything I do in front of a camera usually has to be like overly edited or like it has to be perfect. And when I was doing YouTube videos, I would like say something to the camera. If I didn't like it, I would cut and then do it again. Or I would cut and do it again, do it a third time, couple different takes, and then I would edit it together to make sure it was perfect, because I'm a perfectionist and everything has to be perfect. Which is funny that I was in an Even Stevens episode called Almost Perfect, where Ren, the lead character, played by Christy Carlson Romano, opposite of Shia LaBeouf, struggled with the idea of perfectionism. And me, as her like biggest fan, was super disappointed when she didn't get an A+. But then the whole episode is about like accepting your flaws and that you don't have to be perfect. And did that sink in? No, it didn't. Was that my first ever real TV job? Yes, it was. Did the moral of the story sink in? No, it didn't. You'd think that it would. But it didn't, and I still struggle with that every day of my life, trying to be too perfect. Perfect. Everything I say today is an Alanis Morissette song. So I struggle with being too perfect. So I started this whole podcast with the idea of not cutting. We ain't cutting, right? We're going to try to hit record. We're going to try to hit record here, and there. That's my audio. And then we're just going to go and we're going to see what happens. And if things fall apart, then guess what? You're seeing them fall apart. You're going to watch it crumble. You're going to watch the implosion. We ain't going to cut stuff out. We will bleep things if I accidentally say things that I shouldn't, like I did earlier. But we're going to try not to cut. So the whole reason I started the podcast was to just like try to be the most myself that I've ever been. Like who is Lisa Foyles? Because you guys don't really get an accurate depiction of me when I'm in all of these projects that are heavily edited, right? So this is as much me as you're going to get. You come over, you hang, I make you pizza. Frozen pizza. I would never make you anything by hand. It's just not my nature. I heat you up a nice DiGiorno. It's probably going to be doughy in the middle. Not that good at heating up pizza, right? You're going to come over to my house. I'm going to serve you a DiGiorno pizza that's a little doughy in the middle, but you're not going to say anything unless you're a good friend. Because if you're a good friend, I'm never going to hear the end of it. But if you're just a regular friend or acquaintance, you're not going to say anything. You're going to come to my house. You're going to eat my DiGiorno. You're going to know that it's doughy in the middle. And then you're going to experience this right here. This is who you're going to get right here. This person hosting the podcast right now. This is the true me. And I don't know if I should apologize for that because it's a lot sometimes, right? It's a little intense. But that's me, yo. And that's in this world where everything is super overproduced and too edited. This is like as real as it gets. That was the tagline for UFC for a while. Bye. See ya. Bye, girl, Kevin. I was just going to say something else and I forgot. Hold on. Let me take a drink. You're going to get me, authentically me, and then you're going to get inside running jokes like this. You should go. DJ Maxx. And now maybe we'll add a new one where we go. It's so funny to me. It's so funny to me. But anyway, what I was trying to tell you is I've really missed this because what started out as an exercise in just trying to be myself has turned into like a great community, and I love you guys and your comments that you leave. And you know, you guys send me messages, you leave me comments, and I talk with you, and we have like inside jokes, and there's like memes for the show. It's freaking great. It's like really turned into something bigger than I ever wanted it to be, and ever intended it to be. Of course I want it to be big. Of course I want it to be big. Of course I want to someday make $1 doing it. Maybe. That'd be cool. Making money off of content. What a crazy concept. But kind of to piggyback on that, thought, I have a song on Spotify. I did a cover of Now You're Just Somebody That I Used to Know. Somebody. Super, that was not a good representation. The song actually sounds... It's good, and I don't sing off key like I just did. It's beautiful. It's actually really pretty, and I'm proud of it. And I put it on Spotify, and it's also like very raw. Like it wasn't produced in a studio. It's just me and my guitar and my friend Michael, who kind of like added a little reverb and made sure it didn't totally sound like garbage. But yeah, it's like super raw, and it's not overly produced, and it's on Spotify and all of the music streaming things. So you should go check it out, because it's great. Somebody that I used to know, somebody. And I'm going to put out some more music soon. So, you know, like and subscribe and all the things. And yeah, whatever. Okay, but none of this matters. Nothing that I've said in this entire podcast matters, because I have the greatest story ever. I have the greatest story ever. It's not even my story. It's not my story, but I'm taking it. It's mine now. So let's start from the beginning. I have a friend, and his name is Josh, but also his name is Numbers. We're going to call him Numbers because he's good with the numbers. He's, you know that meme where it's like me talking to my best friend, and it's like, hey, how is your job? And also, what is it? That's me and Numbers. He's Chandler. He's Chandler from Friends. He's a transponder. What did she say? I don't know what Jennifer Aniston says. A transpondent. What does she say? A transponder or something like that. And that's not even a word. That's what Monica says to her. And they're trying to figure out nobody knows what Chandler does, right? That's kind of like Numbers. Like nobody knows what Numbers does. He crunches numbers. That's what he does. He's a professional number cruncher. For companies. There you go. A little more information. He's not just doing it on his own in his apartment, in his house. He's doing it for companies. He's getting paid for it. He's getting paid to do it. Like I'm not getting paid to do my podcast. But anyway, okay. So here's his story. This is a couple years ago. And I hope that nothing that I say in this story gets him in trouble in any way, because it happened a long time ago, and it's all over, and it's fine, and it was whatever. You can decide. So anyway, my buddy Numbers, he goes on a beach vacation with his girl. They go to Tahiti, feeling hot, hot, hot. You can just picture the scene, right? There's a beach. There's a sun. Feeling hot, hot, hot. The sun's shining, there's palm trees, they're swaying. Don't know the words, but feeling hot, hot, hot. Everybody's in swimsuits and bikinis, and the water is probably see-through. That's the sign of a really good beach, right? When you can like see right through it. So him and his girl, they go snorkeling, feeling hot, hot, hot. So they go on a snorkeling trip, right? Are you with me? Did I lose you with the song? Stay with me. This is a great story. So Numbers and his girl go on a snorkeling tour. Hey, yes, let's go snorkeling. Let's do it. So they put on their snorkels. Yeah. And they get in the water and they're swimming. They got their flippers going. They're looking at tropical fish and rocks, and probably trying not to get wrapped up in seaweed, because that's the only thing I think of when I swim in any kind of body of water is don't let the seaweed wrap around my limbs and pull me down to the darkness. Oh, it's bumping down into the darkness. But that's just a little personal trauma that I slipped in there. Don't pull me down into the darkness. But anyway, they're swimming, feeling hot, hot, hot. Yeah. And So Josh finds a beautiful shell. Dude, he's like a pirate. He found some treasure. Dude, this guy's a pirate. He found some. Dude, Numbers found some treasure. He finds this beautiful shell. It's gorgeous. It's like, I think it was like shimmery, kind of rainbow, just like beautiful, gorgeous. So what does he do? Like a true American, he takes it. He picks it up. He takes the shell. He's like, oh, looking at it through his little snorkel. I wasn't there, but that's how I imagine. He's like, blowing his little bubbles, like looking at it through his thing. He's kind of floating, feeling hot, hot, hot. And he takes the shell and he puts it in his pocket, in his board shorts. It's like your little, short swimsuit, whatever. So then they get done with the snorkeling. They're up on the beach. Him and his girl are like, oh, let's take a look at that shell, because that was pretty. They take the shell out of their pocket. They look at it real closely, and there appears to be some kind of creature inside the shell. Oh, this is a working shell. This is a house. This is a creature house. What is that guy? They don't know what it is. They can't really see him. I think they're trying to poke at him, and they're trying to hey, who are you? Is your name Larry? Who are you? What? Hello, Larry, is that you? And they're trying to poke at the snail. Snail. Well, we think it's a snail, right? We think it's a snail because it's living inside the shell, and that's kind of what snails do. I've seen SpongeBob. Hey, Gary, is that you? Do you know Gary? So they're like, okay, well, this dude's not coming out of his shell. It's not coming out of his shell. So they put it, Josh, Numbers, he puts it back in his pocket, right? Which, in a swimsuit, the pockets are just right close to, the goods. They're right close to your private areas on your body. They're just right there. So they get back to the hotel and they're like, well, what do we do with this beautiful shell? Let's put it in an empty water bottle. They put it in an empty water bottle. And then I think the story goes, they forgot about it. And it was in their suitcase. And lo and behold, they take it to Los Angeles. Feeling hot, hot, hot. It's in their suitcase. The snail creature's in their suitcase. The suitcase gets on the plane. The plane goes to Los Angeles. They get their suitcase. They pick it up. It's on the carousel. Not the same carousel that I was riding in my Circus billboard, different kind of carousel. They see it on this carousel. They get their luggage. They go back to their apartment. They're like, oh, snap. We brought the shell home, which is so insane because the number of signs on the walls at the airport, their Tahitian airport, the number of signs on the walls that were like, yo, don't take stuff back with you, okay? Don't do it. They're everywhere. There's so many signs. Don't take creatures back with you. Don't take wildlife. Don't take plants. Don't take things from Tahiti and take them to LA. Don't do it. Don't do it. And look, we've all been there, right? We've all been there. We've all had to dump out a water bottle in shame because we accidentally took it through security and they're like, you're going to kill everyone with this bottle of water. Pour it out now before we arrest you. Before we get the sniper, They're like, pour it out. That's why you get that big barrel of jungle juice outside of security where everybody's got to take their liquids and just dump them out before you go through. They're catching water. Like, you can't take water on the plane, but you can take a snail. They're catching water. They ain't catching snails. Yo, that's on them. Hey, Border Patrol, what you doing? What are you doing? You're not letting us take our water bottles on planes, but you let these guys take an animal from Tahiti and fly it to LA? Did you not? How did that happen? 100% on them. Okay? That's their job. So, okay. So now they're in LA, right? They're in LA. They got this empty water bottle, and it's got a shell in it, and it's got a creature in it. And I think they poked and prodded at it a couple times, and he's now not really super interested in coming out. So they're like, well, what should we do with this little guy? Like, we didn't really intend on taking him away from his Tahitian home where he was feeling hot, hot, hot. We didn't really mean to take him away from his cozy beach to the smoggiest city in the world, probably. But here we are. And if he doesn't want to be a star, then we're going to have to do something with him. So they call a couple aquariums. And pretty much like no one answers them. They got like one person to answer, like one tiny aquarium. And the person apparently at this aquarium told them, well, why don't you just put it back in the ocean? Hui. Hui. Hey, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm stupid. Here, we all know this. I'm dumb. I recently tried to convince my child that there were 52 states. There's not. There's 50. But I was really confident. So I'm stupid. But even I know if I took a creature from Tahiti and brought it to America, I ain't putting it in our ecosystem. I'm not just like free willing it. Just be free. Be free. Go forth. Create a new home and procreate. And now you will live here in Los Angeles. Use the carpool lane and get a smog check. So that's a really terrible idea, right? You should not do that. So they didn't do that, thankfully. They called a couple other places, and nobody really got back to them. But in the meantime, they did a little research. They did some research. That's what you got to do. When you're confused, you do research. And they learned that this creature inside this beautiful shell was called a cone snail. Sounds very innocent, right? Cone snail, cone snail. Cone snail. It's like when you go to the ice cream, you're like, I'll take some ice cream. I'll take it in a cone. Okay, cool. Totally innocent. Ah, it's a snail. You take cone, innocent. You put ice cream in it. You take snail, innocent. Gary from SpongeBob, meow. Two innocent things, put them together, cone snail. How bad could it be? All right? So when they call these aquariums, they're like, yo, we got this cone snail. We don't know what to do with it. Like, let us know. They get a call back from the Aquarium of the Pacific. And I'm going to play you that voicemail right now. Go.
With the Aquarium of the Pacific, you had left me a message earlier about finding a cone snail. I wanted to let you know that these are venomous snails that can be deadly. So I would recommend that you dispose of the snail in a humane way. We do not have any anti-venom here and do not have a proper holding tank for it, so we would not be able to take it, unfortunately. The best method is probably freezing it, just placing it in a freezer. That's the most humane way to dispose of it, unfortunately, but I just worry about your safety more than anything.
So the Aquarium of the Pacific is like, this is one of the most venomous, deadly creatures on planet Earth. We can't help you. We don't have anti-venom for this creature. This is an incredibly deadly, venomous snail that you have found, that you have brought to America. Good job. We can't help you. So they're like, you got to get rid of this thing in a humane way. Somehow, it's scary. You have a scary thing in your house. Best of luck. They're just like, do it on your own. We can't help you. That's not a good sign. When the Aquarium of the Pacific is like, yon your own. Yon yon. Can't help you. We got sharks to tend to. We've got piranhas and stingrays and horrible creatures of the depths of the ocean. We can't help you with your cone snail. It's too scary. It's too scary. So yeah, come to find out, the cone snail is like the third most venomous creature on the planet. It's like in the top 10 deadliest creatures ever. And Numbers was carrying it around in his pocket of his swimsuit right next to his junk. He was carrying it in his pocket on the beach. Feeling hot, hot, hot with this snail in his pocket. I gotta stop saying that. That's so annoying. I think it's funny though. So they they described this moment where it was like on their counter in the water bottle, and they like learn the information that this is one of the most deadly venomous creatures on the planet, and they just kind of like look over it like a horror movie. They like look over like and it's like shoom. I remember one of those really like cool zooms. You know, you remember in Lord of the Rings in the first one, in Fellowship of the Ring, when Frodo is like looking down the path because he like senses the ring wraiths are coming, and they do that thing where like the camera pushes in but then it zooms out at the same time, and it's like that's what I imagine the cone snail zoom is. They're like shoom, and that cone snail looks at him like, what now, motherfucker? What now? Because that thing totally could have killed him, like straight up, easily. I'm going to show you a video of what the cone snail is capable of right here. Okay, actually, I'm not sure how much of the video I can show you because of the copyright, and they'll get mad at me. So I'm basically just going to describe to you what this creature does. This creature has a built-in harpoon, and it harpoons its enemy or its food or whatever, anybody it wants, Josh's junk, anything, harpoons it, stuns it, fills it full of poison, and then opens his mouth as big as my mouth on the Circus billboard and swallows its food whole. Just swallows it. I don't care if it's a fish 10 times bigger than him. He harpoons it, opens his mouth as big as my mouth on the Circus billboard, and then swallows him. Dude, this snail's so cool, right? Like, that's so metal that this snail can do that. It's insane. Dude, this snail goes straight. This snail is Nicolas Cage in Face Off. This snail is Nicolas Cage, who's actually John Travolta, harpooning John Travolta, who's actually Nicolas Cage. This cone snail is Nicolas Cage, right? Because that happened at the end of Face Off, and they're battling, and then there's a harpoon, and then you remember. I don't need to explain it to you. But yeah, so anyway, Numbers later told me that this was the venom. The venom of the cone snail is what they used in the books, the Jurassic Park books, to talk about how they like took down the dinosaurs, like how they stunned the dinosaurs. So they used the poison of the cone snail. I didn't look that up. I don't know how true that is. That's just what he told me, and I thought that was very interesting. But that's just, it goes to show you how crazy, venomous, and scary and deadly this little tiny cone snail is. And they were like, release it in the ocean? Dude, that aquarium was like, put it in the sea. Just throw it. Just go to Santa Monica and just hurl it off the pier. It'll be fine. Can you imagine? So stupid. But yeah, so here's what they ended up doing with it. So as you heard in the voicemail, they told Numbers to destroy the creature humanely. But destroy being the important part. You gotta destroy the snail. Gotta destroy it. It's threatening humanity. Destroy it immediately, but nicely. But let's do it nicely because animals, you know? So what happened was that Numbers puts it in the freezer. Freezes it. It dies. It's frozen. Great. And then the coolest part of all of it, look, they could have just, you know, I don't know, like... They could have gotten rid of it really easily after that, right? But instead, they did the coolest thing ever. They got the cone snail, the frozen cone snail, ground up into a powder and then put into a watch. So now, Numbers wears a watch on his left hand that has cone snail in it. That is so metal. It's so metal. It's so awesome. I wish you would have saved a little for me. I would have made like a little necklace or earrings out of it or something. Oh, I really like your earrings. What is it? Oh, it's just the deadliest creature on planet Earth. But, you know, thank you for asking. It's just crazy. There's so many articles that you can look up that like it's... I don't know if there's an actual ranking of like deadliest, most venomous creatures, but it's up there. It's in like the top 3 or something like that. But anyway, I think that's the greatest story. I think that's so insanely funny. I laughed so hard when he told me this story. So funny. But that's it. But that's all I got. I've already gone over a couple minutes. Thank you guys so much for returning to Temperamental Podcast, starring Lisa Voiles and Kevin, who's not here because he's eating, and he's doing that thing where he scoops up food in his mouth, spits the food to the side of the bowl, and then eats it off of the table. Why do you do that? Just eat it out of the bowl. What's wrong with this cat? Thank you guys for your ongoing support and your love and all the things in your comments. Please like and subscribe. Look up my song on Spotify or any music app that you use. Just listen to it. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Bye. Mwah! Feeling hot, hot, hot. You'll find a corn snail. It's gonna kill you. Feeling hot, hot, hot. Oh, now you show up. Now you show up. Guess what, bro? Podcast is over. Yeah, it is actually. Oh, big tummy. Big tummy. Good kitty. All right. Be gone.